Action. What's up, everybody? Good to be with you here. Wednesday morning, mid-morning, and another week, right? And another week. So, it was definitely a whirlwind, 72 hours, if you will, from the winter storm to moving the game, everything in between. Was just crazy. I think something that helped, obviously, was what's happened to us in the last couple of years with moving games, especially due to weather and time slots and what have you. So, but yeah, I'll give you my breakdown of the game, what I thought was good, bad, ugly, whatever you want to say, and then obviously what's coming Sunday night at 6:30 this coming week. So, first and foremost, obviously credit to those that, sorry for the sunshine here. It's actually sunny in Western New York. Well, at least Farmington. But credit to those that obviously got everything ready to go for the game. Being there, they got a lot of snow. And they're getting more, yesterday, today, and tomorrow too, which is nuts. But the forecast for Sunday looks pretty good. The stadium was half done inside, where we sit was done, which was nice. Just had to kind of knock off a little bit of the seats, but a lot of snow, field was fantastic though. And again, it was one of those things where I can't remember what I said last week, because obviously they didn't move the game on Wednesday. It wasn't until Saturday morning. But I don't know. Look out. Look at this. Emergency, heavy wind, whatever. Okay. All right. We're all set. Jeez. That'll make the hair stand up on the back of your neck. Completely lost the train of thought, but that's good for the video, right? Yeah, okay. So I wanted no part of playing on Saturday. Or on Sunday, excuse me. No part. I just did that. And again, they couldn't have played. They legitimately, Pittsburgh couldn't have gotten in time. So, but even if Pittsburgh got in and it was going to be one of those just whiteout games, it completely evens the playing field. There's no, our game plan is completely different. And that's why I was so gung-ho about move the game. Move it. I don't care when you play on Monday. Play on Monday. Right? So, happy they did it. Yeah, so, with the game, I don't know if it could have started any better, right? So, Pittsburgh gets the ball, punt, we get it, 10 plays, 80 yards, touchdown. I mean, that's fantastic. Next drive, Pickens fumbles, we get it, first play, shot, boom, touchdown. 14-0 in a blink of an eye. Which was, again, how you want to play that opponent. You want to, take the wind out of take any wind out of any sail they got. And don't let a team like Pittsburgh hang around, because that's really how they've won a lot of their games this year. So that was huge. Coupling down, there was some, third quarter kind of got a little hairy for a second there. But, credit to guy that I was just ripping apart up there in the stands. Kair Elam made a play, right? So, credit. He caught the football in bounds, right? He did what he was supposed to do. Did he have any idea where the ball was? No. Did he have any idea where his feet were? No. Go back and watch the play. If the definition of backing into an interception, that play. It was like, okay, hey, got it, boom, knee in, away. Like, he had no idea. In Pittsburgh, the second that Benford comes out and Elam's in, Pittsburgh's like, throw his way. Just wherever 24 is, throw that way. And it was bing, bing, bing down the field. Terrified for that matchup this coming Sunday, because if Mason Rudolph can do it, we know who the quarterback is of our next opponent. So I don't think Elam's going to see the field, hopefully all that much, because Douglas should be back. And again, I'll get to that in just a minute. But great play, nonetheless. Hey, appreciate it. Take, like I just said in a group text I'm in, take one back against Mahomes on Sunday, then we can have a discussion, Kyrie. Okay? You give me a pick six on Sunday. I'm not saying all will be forgotten, because it's going to result in a win, but a lot will be forgotten. Okay? So, nevertheless. So I thought that Cook had a decent game. He got back to some of the runs that I expect, and that he's done, and that's why I expect it. I thought he ran a little bit harder, which was nice to see. I said he has not been the same running back since the Dallas game. He just has not been running the way that he ran that game and in previous games. So that was good to see. Couple other big things. Defensively, man, it's like the second that we get, Daquan Jones back and guys are coming back and whatnot, and it's like, boom, here's a huge injury. Now, we'll see what the report is today. McDermott said, and if you kind of break it down in McDermott terms, right? Everybody on the injured list, and it's long, mainly defenders, is day to day. He didn't say anything about week to week. Day to day. Am I expecting Terrell Bernard to play? No, I'm not. I think that you go off the way he did, you're in crutches and an air cast or a boot, leaving the game. It's hard pressed for me to say that he's going to play 6 days later on a short week. If it was one of those where they had an extra week, like 2 weeks, sure. So if we win, can he play in an AFC Championship game? Yeah, it's Baltimore, it's going to be tough because of Lamar, but I think he tries to give it a go. And I might be dead wrong. Who knows? Stem cells and the whole thing, and he's away. He could play. I don't know. But I think we get Dotson back. And I think we get Douglas back, and I'm kind of getting a little bit ahead of myself here. So, but again, Bernard goes out. Benford goes out. I actually think Benford went out, then Bernard. You had Micah Hyde grabbing his knee there for a second. He seems to be all right. On top of who you already had out, being Dotson, being Douglas. Obviously Jordan Phillips is supposed to be, can be activated this week. He sat out the amount of time that you're supposed to sit out with the 4 weeks of IR. Whether they do that or not, I don't know. I'm a big Linval Joseph fan, and I think that he can certainly help with the interior, the second highest graded game of a Bills defender, if you believe in that stuff. But I think that, that Pacheco didn't play against us. I'm getting ahead of myself here. Let me hit the pause button there on the Chiefs. So again, I think with how when those injuries start happening, the biggest play. Let me take a swig. The game-changing play was the block field goal. That made it hairy. Just because of where the ball ended up. I mean, it went from our 31 to their 32 to their 31 to our 32. You flipped the field. That ball should never have been kicked. It should never have been kicked. It's a 48-yard, 49-yard shot into the wind. It goes back to, if you watch some of my previous videos, when I talked about how Jake Elliott hit that first or hit that game-tying kick. A kicker, I don't care who it is, they have to hit that ball one way, low and hard, to cut it through that wind. And like you're inviting Pittsburgh to block that kick to allow something bad to happen. And that moment, you're up, what was it, 21-3? 21-0? What was it? 21-0, because Pittsburgh came down and scored a touchdown. Live and die by your offense. More so your quarterback in that spot. Sure, it's 4th and 7. Okay. From the 31, you mean to tell me that Josh can't break a pocket and I almost said score. And score. He did it later, right? But even if you don't get a yard, it's an incomplete pass, it's a sack, it's whatever. All right, you're giving Pittsburgh the ball at the 35-yard line. And now they have to come down the field. So, like, I'd rather that than allowing what happened, where the ball ended up, the whole thing. Martin gets sniped in the back of the hamstring. Who knows if he finally starts kicking like an actual NFL punter. Hand up if you lit the fire under his ass. So, excuse me, that was a stupid decision. And it was the wrong decision. You convert that first down. You pick that up. Game's over. Like you're 21-0 en route to probably 28 before half. You get the ball out of half. Bad decision. I'm not going to say we're lucky because even when it was 24-17, again, I know who I have. So I'm not concerned from an offensive standpoint. I thought that, Taron Johnson, Lord willing, could clear his protocol this week, which he should. He goes out of the game and enters Cam Lewis. And just like they started picking on Elam, as soon as Cam Lewis came in the game, it was, okay, we're going to the slot. Whoever's lined up in the slot for Pittsburgh, it's bing, 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 bing. Over the middle of the field, that's where they went. And, again, you can get away with it against that team and that quarterback. And I'm not knocking Mason Rudolph, but he's not who we're playing this week. Let's just call a spade a spade. So I think that if they just got to get like 3 of these guys. If they can get 4+, fantastic. I'm getting ahead of myself again. So again, I that was the game-changing moment, I will say, play, that allowed it to get, I don't want to say close, but to get it where it was, to kind of start feeling like, all right, like, come on, like, we've been dominating this game, and it shouldn't be this score, whatever. So, all in all, again, I'm going to get off of this because I know everybody wants to hear about the Chiefs. They did what they had to do. And I think that they look good doing it. This time of year, obviously, it's not about style points, but from a psyche standpoint, to put up 31, it should have been more, actually, but to do what they did offensively, Josh being Josh, that run was just all world. Not a ton of yards. Again, that third quarter kind of a little hairy, but again, given the circumstances, the cold, the wind, what have you, it's not supposed to be as windy this coming Sunday. Still going to be chilly, but good win, and we move on. So, real quick before I get to us in Kansas City. Baltimore, Houston. How about them apples? I thought Miami had a shot against Kansas City. I said that because I thought that they were going to be able to run the football, and they their entire team didn't want to be in Kansas City that night. Everybody. Quarterback, head coach, certainly the defensive coordinator, everybody else. I think Tyreek Hill was the only one that was like, yeah, I'll play. Which it took them a quarter and a half to get him the football. Anyways, so that being said, Houston's chances this week, right? Houston's chances this week, again, I think are decent. I mean, I know they played week 1. It was C.J. Stroud's first game as a pro. And I think, I want to say it was 25 or 26-9, something like that. Lamar had like 180 passing yards, nothing huge. I think Justice Hill had a couple tutties. Both teams obviously playing a completely different brand of football right now. And we'll see, man. We'll see what the hangover, if there's a hangover of being the 1 seed, if they kind of slow down a little bit, if it takes them a while to get going. Look, Houston's good, man. Houston's good. Hand up, I didn't think Stroud was going to be anything what he's been this year, let alone just as a quarterback as a whole in this league. They got weapons on the outside. They got a good defense. Got a decent running back. I've always been a Singletary guy. And they're playing with house money. And I think that's a scary spot for Baltimore, being the 1 seed at home against a team that's got nothing to lose. Houston's not supposed to be here. They're not supposed to even be a playoff team, let alone win their division, right? So I just if they can get out early, if Houston can get out early, maybe like a 10-0, right? Something like that. Get a touchdown and field goal. If you can get 2, great. Because I think once they apply pressure, mental pressure to Baltimore, get tight. All of a sudden, it's midway through the third quarter. You're down by a touchdown. You're down by 10. You might see the ball, 2 or 3 more times, and you got to hit every time you got it. So, am I saying Houston's going to win? No. Do I think they can win? Yes. I don't know what the forecast is for Baltimore, Maryland on Saturday at 4:30, but we'll see. Thrilled that it is on Saturday, too. That's fantastic. Not that we need any other added motivation, given just everything with this game coming up on Sunday for us. But it's kind of one of those things where, the whole team knows. If Houston wins Saturday, you win. The Super Bowl goes through your house. That's crazy. I mean, that's it. That's what you want, right? You're now the 1 seed. You're the top seed. So, on to Kansas City. Listening to the pundits, as people say, yesterday, this morning, the question came up, is this Josh Allen's biggest game to date in his career? And the answer's got to be yes. It's got to be yes. That's the only answer. It's the only answer, obviously, because of who the opponent is. Right? If they were playing, say, Houston, it's not. But because of who they're playing, where they're playing, and what has happened the last 3-4 years against that specific opponent and the landscape of the conference, it's his biggest game. It's his biggest game. And I don't want to make it about one guy. But everybody's got to have the A game on Sunday. Everybody's got to have the A game on Sunday because the statement that's being made is if you don't get them now, then when? Kansas City's not at their highest. They're not playing their best football even coming into, the playoffs. The whole season they've struggled offensively. They've been pretty good on defense. But if not now, ... when? Question mark. With the playoff games that we've had against them, and we don't have to get into it because we all know. And all those games have been in their place. Getting Kansas City in our place is a huge advantage, sure. And I'm going to stop with that there now. We're playing them in our place. Everybody knows it. You don't have to keep hitting it home. In my opinion, you don't want to keep just forcing this into Mahomes' head. Dude, Mahomes, he's a Hall of Fame quarterback already. I'm not taking anything away from him. Do I have respect for him? No, because of what happened earlier in the year. But I can still say bing, 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 bing. Right? I don't have to keep slamming it. You're coming to our place. We know. We get it. Everybody gets it. Everybody associated with the game of football, fan or otherwise, gets it. Okay. Period. Flip the page. On we go. Because of how Josh and our team, the results that we've had in the playoffs against this team is one reason why it's huge. The other reason, from a Josh standpoint, is if Sunday doesn't go our way, now you're talking about back-to-back seasons in the same round, in the same building that you've lost to would-be Mahomes and then Burrow last year. And when we talk about the hierarchy of quarterback in this conference, really league-wide, it's been those three. You want to throw Lamar in there, fine. At some point, Josh has to beat one of those guys in the playoffs. And the opportunity on Sunday is obviously Mahomes. So that's why, for me, I say yes to that question. Is this Josh Allen's biggest game of his career? Yes. While understanding he also has played for a conference championship before. But that was year 3. It was very early. Year 3? Year 2. Year 3. Year 3. So I said last week that number 1 on the list was ball security. Ball security. This week, while that is still 1B, in my opinion, not that I'm saying go turn the ball over 3 times, but I believe, and I think it is a direct connection to ball security, our offensive line has to have their best game of the season on Sunday. Have to. If they do, we win. My opinion. They had arguably their worst game of the season when we played them earlier in the year in Kansas City. And we still won. Right? But they need to have their best game of the season on Sunday. It's going to make, if they can establish the line of scrimmage, if they can run the football, it's going to set up. I'm not going to say easy because it's not easy, but it's going to give Josh so much more opportunity when it comes to whether it's play action or just RPO, whatever. If they can get Kansas City on their heels. Look, Kansas City's going to bring the heat, man. Spags does it every single time he plays us. Every single time he plays us in the playoffs. You know he is going to say, I'm going to man up and I'm going to blitz Josh so that he potentially can make mistakes. And that's the sword that they're going to live and die on. So we need to have an unbelievable game from our offensive line, from a blocking standpoint, from a blitz pickup standpoint, but also from just giving Josh the extra half a second to hit a Kincaid, to hit a Hardy, to hit a swing route to Cook, if he catches it, Lord willing. That's going to be the difference in the football game, in my opinion. I think it's going to be not high scoring, but I think it's going to be, mid 20s to low 30s ish, and from both teams. I really do. I think from a defensive standpoint for us, again, if we can get some of these guys back, I definitely expect Douglas to play. Benford, I don't know. We'll see. Had a knee. Some people are saying it might be a meniscus tweak or something. We'll see what that looks like. Dodson coming back. And, again, people know my reservations that I've had, not just this year, but in years past with Tyrell Dodson. But my argument now is, with no Dodson, we're a snap away from Tyler Matakevich now playing significant snaps as a defensive linebacker, not just somebody on special teams. That's DEFCON 5. So Dotson comes back. If Dotson comes back, I think you plug him into where he has been. You don't move him around. You plug him to where he's been, and you play Klein at middle linebacker if Bernard can't go. That, I think, that's the recipe. I would much rather, if they're going to put Spector, if Spector plays, I think get back spasms or whatnot. So, again, maybe he can get that cleared up and be able to play, be available. Is that a spot for him? They put Dotson inside. I don't know. I'd rather die by Klein or with Klein. Just because of communication, just because of what he's seen. I feel as if that's our best chance at that position with no Bernard. And then who else? Well, obviously Gabe on offense. We'll see. I turned my season ticket guys there. I work better offense without Gabe. I just think the ball is it's distributed more. Other guys have more opportunities. I think it creates some confusion with the defense, especially with now you're getting faster with who potentially is going to be playing. Whether that's more Hardy, Sherfield. Obviously Shakir is just that play. I forgot to talk about that touchdown. That was just unreal. So Gabe. Who else am I missing? Tron Johnson, we mentioned him. I think that he will clear protocol. He didn't want to come off, went right in the tent, and then he ran on his own and stopped to watch the next play behind the uprights there in the tunnel. So again, you're doing that stuff, like how much are you really concussed? How bad is it? I think that's a good sign. And look for, with the practice today, and Lord willing, they can all get in to the facility with the snow they're getting. But and there's a travel ban, actually. Fuck. There's a travel ban for Orchard Park. I'm not going to practice today. Huh. Squirrel! Call up Squirrel. Getting these front loaders. Get these guys in. Shit. That's, good for, rest and whatnot, but they can't get treatment. They're just at home. Fuck. That's, well, whatever. That's the hand we're dealt. That just completely threw me. Yeah, so Johnson. Yeah, so he should. I was going to say, what I was going to say was if you see him limited in practice, that's a huge step, just like Ty Johnson was last week. When I saw limited with Ty Johnson, I knew instantly he's going to play. When you're limited in doing football activities, you're in the fourth step of the protocol. The next step is clear. So as soon as you're there, boom, you're there. And so if he does this on a Wednesday, wakes up on Thursday and he does it again, you're cleared. So definitely need Ty Johnson in this game. I don't know exactly who's banged up. I didn't realize that McKinnon is on IR for Kansas City. That's a big one there. He's hurt us in the past, especially out of the backfield. So weather looks decent. It's going to be cold, but that doesn't slow either of these two teams down. Not at the temperature that it's going to be, at least. It's not going to be negative 30. But no snow and hardly any wind. I think it said 5 to 10 or 5 to 15, something like that. Partly on. Josh's biggest game to date, without a doubt. Without a doubt. I hope that Josh realizes that he doesn't have to do it all. I hope that McDermott realizes what this game means. And I'm not saying that he doesn't. But it's a big one for him too. For as much as it is Josh getting past Pat, it's Sean getting past Andy in the playoffs. We know we can beat him. We've beat him basically 3 years in a row. We have beat him 3 years in a row in the regular season. Every game in their house. That's almost like just chalk it up, right? You celebrate Christmas. Here comes July 4th. Oh, the Bills beat Chiefs. Regular season, whatever the fuck week it is. So, it's a massive opportunity. That's what I'm going to call it. It's a massive opportunity. I'm not going to say chance, opportunity. And I hope that everybody there, us as a fan base, realizing the opportunity that our team has, 100% has to bring it on Sunday. Because we can certainly make life hell for an opposing offense. An opposing team in general. I feel as if we are... If we win on Sunday, and we beat Kansas City, I just feel like it's back to where it was in 2021, where it's like if you win this game, I don't care if it's Houston or Baltimore. I think we're going to Vegas. I really do. I just feel as if this is the football gods saying, "Okay, Buffalo, here's your shot. This is you threw it away a couple years ago. You're getting another shot." And it's Sunday. And if we can get past this one, I'm not guaranteeing anything, but I just feel as if this is the opportunity. This is it. So, probably going to cut it short. That's about a half hour. Not a ton to talk about, obviously. There's not a lot going on. There's 4 teams left. A little NFC talk here. I think San Fran... Green Bay is, again, playing with house money. We'll see what the bye does to San Fran. I think San Fran is obviously a more talented team than Dallas is, especially from a coaching standpoint. So I'll take San Fran in that game 34-17. I'll take Detroit at home. How about that, huh? That was a hell of a game. I'll take Detroit at home against Tampa. 27-24. I'll just throw a score out there. 30-28 Houston. And again, not going to pick our game. Not going to do it. We'll be there. The Bills ticket office there on the way home on Monday at about 9 o'clock. Hit me for the for the credit card charge there for the ticket. So we'll be there. Gonna be a great day. It's gonna be a great tailgate. It's gonna be a great game. And I'm excited to see how our team responds to what they're gonna hear this week. Because I think you're gonna hear a lot of what I just said. I mean, I heard it before doing this. This is Buffalo's opportunity and Josh's opportunity to, really wipe away what's happened in the past. It is. So, it makes it huge. It just does. It just does. So, that's all I got for you. Go Bills. Hopefully we're doing this next week. Getting ready for an AFC Championship game, whether that's at home or in Baltimore at M&T Bank Stadium. So, until then, we'll catch you guys later. Go Bills.